Welcome back. Got my butt kicked a whole lot. This for almost over an hour, so if it seems like I cut abruptly, that's the reason. So we're playing Callisto, the Callisto Protocol, and I have been through such turmoil with this. Seems like I got the last shot off on this boss, that Alpha, whatever you want to call him, and yeah, I finally kicked his butt. So I think it's going into the sequence right now. So yes, Callisto Protocol. I am your host. Well, yeah, I'll call myself that, the host of my stream and whatnot. Captain Waffles is here, and I think I got it. Blech. Get a sample. Gooey.
Hold on, Danny. You think you've beaten us? Ferris was weak, an imperfect vessel. But in that sample is the key to unlocking a centuries-old dream. That's not failure, Mr. Lee. That's progress. And it belongs to me.
No, I don't think so.
Please. This is no time for false heroics. Leave the sample and walk away. There's an escape pod up there. To take you back to the life you once had. We can both have everything we want. So tell me, Mr. Lee, what do you want?
I'll tell you what I want.
Okay.
I want my sister back.
Sister,
fucker.
not daughter. Of course he's not here. Oh.
A valiant effort. But surely you know by now, I never lose.
No. This time you do.
Such a waste. All this to save one life. Don't think you've stopped us. The data gathered here will carry the protocol to the next phase. As for you...
Self-destruct sequence.
Of course it is.
Goodbye, Miss Nakamura. And Mr. Lee. I do hope you've enjoyed your stay at Black Iron.
Reactor core approaching critical.
This way. Run!
Faster.
Move!
See a timer, so never know what I should and shouldn't be picking up right now. Ugh.
Hurry! Just keep going! We gotta get to the escape pods. Almost there! I see the pods!
Just one, right? Just one.
There's just one.
You don't know what you're doing.
I didn't. But I do now. I can't keep running from what I've done.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. For everything. I do belong here.
Don't do this. Jacob! Jacob!
Well, damn. Where did they all just come from?
Data transfer complete. That transfer worked both ways. He learned more about me, and I learned more about him. In the chaos of the moment, I didn't realize he had also given me the evidence I was looking for all along. And sacrificed he trying to make up for the pain he caused? Or just chasing some kind of redemption? Either way, I hope he found some peace.
Jacob, there might be a way out after all,
Reactor 4 temporary safeties activated.
but I'm going to need your help.
Of course. Of course. Okay, thoughts. Yeah, it's a little bit more of a softcore. What would you have? Horror game. It's more action oriented, and but it wanted the horror aspect to be the more of what it is, but it's not. It's about the combat. Unfortunately, it's not a combat game. It had bit too much of a clunkiness. There's supposed to be of like on par. It should be as fast as things, or there should be a staggering effect. If I get hit and I get bumped around my character, then that should be the same for the other characters, like this boss. I get what they were going for the ultimate life form, of so to speak, or some kind of evolution, whatever they're going with. But all in all, though, I did enjoy playing the game. But that's the type. I like Resident Evil games. I like the Dead Space games, and this is a little bit of a mix of those, but added a bit more of that Resident Evil 4 flair with the action. But as much as it is slightly moving tank controls for Resident Evil 4, it had more fluidity to it, or else this one did not. And the leveling up for all weapons, so obviously they don't want you to go through the entire game doing that, and I kind of wanted to level up everything evenly. One here, one there, one here, one there, and spreading over like 4 or 5 guns was not the ideal thing. I should have been just focusing on 2 guns, because I only get ammo for the guns that I have. So I wasn't picking up shotgun shells while I only had a pistol. I was not picking up tactical gun ammo when I didn't even have the tactical gun yet. So if I was more strategic in that, but I didn't know. This was my first time through this game, so I didn't know going through it that I'd have those options later down the line if I played it correctly. And I should have tried to think of it like that, but who can say? There are games that are like this, and you can go through it and all of a sudden have about 10,000 extra credits, whatever I was spending on, after I had upgraded everything. In this case, I had spent everything I had, and I was still under par on about 3 or 4 guns and that gravity gauntlet thing. So, like, if I were to do this again, right off the bat, what I know and what I can level up with, I would probably have just stuck with the main pistol I had, possibly just go to the riot gun, shotgun, and the gauntlets, and just kind of stick with those, because it seemed like those are what I was focusing on the most. And all of a sudden I get, like, the skunk shotgun was okay for those intermediate times that I needed to use it, but it was a short time to have that before getting the riot gun. So I know better going forward. Speaking of which, I do know that there is DLC, and I'm not heading head first into that just yet, but I will be picking it up, and I will continue the story. So I don't know if this is the ending, or even if the DLC is the ending, if they're gonna make this a franchise and make a sequel to the Callisto Protocol. From what I can tell, their warden, he probably was never even on this Iron Planet, the prison, the entire time. I'm presuming he's off somewhere and just gathering all the data that he wants, which is why he didn't interfere whatsoever. He was just a hologram that kept popping up to antagonize you for whatever particular reason, because that's what he does. He's that driving force to aggravate you, like in other games. In Resident Evil, it's probably Wesker taunting you. In Portal games, it's Gladys taunting you, and so forth. In this case, it's the Warden. Where else his chief or captain of the guard became your physical foe throughout the game. Would have liked more in depth on him, because I know he's an actor, does video game things. I think his last name is Winters or Winter. But I see him in things. He was the main protagonist in the Force Unleashed Star Wars games. He was in Days Gone, another kind of zombie, but more in rural Montana or Pacific Northwest, wherever the heck that was taking place. But in this, we're going a little further in space, and he was the antagonist, pushing you around and just basically doing what he was told. But in the same sense, it's just like, dude, smarten up. And then there we have it. Now we have like the leftover information. We don't know if the girl Nakamura is going to get her evidence. She just kind of monologued at the end there, and we don't know until I play the DLC, the continuation of the game, what Jacob's character is going to go through. But apparently that scientist doctor is still doing things. I just don't know why she wants to continue helping in any regard. It seems like her part was done. She should have been done, and can't say that whatever she has up her sleeve to get out, is she gonna redeem herself, or she wants to just save the Jacob character I'm playing as, or not. I don't know, but I'll find out. But all in all, was the right length for this game. It just had it has unfair boss fights. The first time we run into the two-headed creature, and then this alpha here at the end. I would have liked to see some like uber powering up. It just doesn't seem to make sense that you're kind of so depowered and not like leveling up like as if it was Metroid Prime or Metroid games in general, where you just start adding onto your suit, getting stronger, getting more fit, and upgrading your weapons from the regular plasma to like missile launch and all that stuff. It seems a little unfair on how the leveling was working, but maybe if there's a new game plus, they want you to go through it again and again and again. I'd say if I did play this one more time in a new game plus with everything that I have and just level up, I would be Sam Winter. That's the name of the character I was thinking of. You would be able to max out everything. I guess some other things on the credit. I think if there was just better treasure rooms or something, reward for that, because I was trying to kill everything. There's only one part I kind of ran away from those hear everything but don't see anything antagonist zombie creatures. I don't know what to call them, but I mean they have different characteristics. I mean, there's the standard like inmate zombie, then there's the overweight inmate zombie, then there's the tactical gear wearing security zombie. Then I think you run into those wall crawling invisible ones. They didn't make much sense, but yeah, they basically were invisible spiders just friggin' hunting you down. Then we run into the hear everything but can't see you type things, which is just good for stealth and stabbing in the neck when you got the chance. Followed by that, then you run into the double headers, as I'll probably nickname them, the things with two heads that rip their bodies apart to like rip the weak and just carry on. And then after that, I think it's just the alpha, so 7 characteristic enemies that run into one that was started out as a boss, and then it just kind of ran into like just running into it as an annoyance. I mean, that's for those, but yeah, combat wise, again, I would chose the pistol and stick with that, riot gun, and the gravity slash magnet gauntlets. I kept calling magnet for whatever reason, but it worked for me. Oh, and the friggin' bat. Yeah, that I would have spent more time like building up, especially since it doesn't need to run on ammo. It's just hard to use and guard and use in the correct way. So it is what it is. I think I would have preferred something more with tells to know when to dodge side to side, or a better way to block. Because all of a sudden I thought I was dodging, and then all of a sudden he pulls out his bat and looks like he's blocking those spewing balls that are coming at you. But I mean, if you've been watching these episodes on YouTube and following my stream, then you know. So I'm not telling you anything you don't know, just voicing my opinion on how I interpret it going through and what I could or couldn't enjoy. But in the end, I had fun. I do like to explore. I think I would have been much happier going to rooms that I can go into and then finding absolutely nothing. Or if there was more of a tell on those chests that have monsters in them, okay, that would be the 8th thing. So those little tadpoles, so 8, and then 9 those things that just came out of the crevice zits that came out like lunging at you like an eel or a worm or snake or something and grabbing onto you. So about 9 different antagonist enemies, and I would prefer a little more of a tell that, because I think I'm quite observant in games. I'm not 100%, but I should have been able to see those a little better. The sound control just all sounded like it came from the front of me or slightly to the side, but I have surround sound on both sides of me, in front of me, center of the channel, and a couple of subwoofers in here to get like pinnacle sound. So I think it should have been more what's around me hearing, but it wasn't bad. It just gave me the creeps, especially when I can hear things above me. My Atmos speakers, I really enjoyed listening to it because it sounded like something that was stepping on the roof of me. And then I did find those little creatures that were on the roof in here and there. So I like the sound. Visually, it's impeccable. It is CGI movie quality. It is a mature, I guess, Pixar, if you wanted to put it in that term. Seeing the sweat and the grime on him, I think it would have been a little more sense. There was things that, like how his body cleaned up instead of duration. It's all of a sudden he's covered in muck, he's covered in blood, he's covered in whatever else he was walking and trudging through, but then it just kind of disappeared. I don't know if we're getting any closer in video games where they can eliminate some things like that, but we're getting close. But it looked outstanding. So top tier on graphics. Combat was lacking. Story cliche, but it's the cliche I was looking for. Evil government is evil. Prisons in space are evil. Corporations trying to siphon off evolution. Cliche. But I wasn't going for Shakespeare for this. I just wanted to get lost in space and fight my way through prison if I had to. I think his hallucinations should have played a little more of a role, just more of like he had PTSD seeing his partner just kind of die and then all of a sudden haunt him back, because all of a sudden the one detail that they skipped throughout the game is like, oh, he knew there was chemicals in those trunks that he was transporting back and forth. So yes, I said at the very beginning he was a glorified mailman that just seems to have combat skills. But he was just doing courier things, and he shouldn't have. He should have spoken up and said something, but instead he didn't. He said this was going to be his last job, but of course, when you have your last job in a movie or something like that, it's, I'm going to retire, and shit hits the fan. Literally and figuratively with this game. And he reaps what he sows, but I don't know if the punishment fits that much for the crime. There's a lot of things that people do and are not responsible for. We're just supposed to do what we're told, but it's that moral compass that he should have said something, but I don't think what he's suffering from is what should have happened, especially since he didn't create the chemicals. He was just traveling back and forth. And what if he didn't look in the box? He could have, for all we know, never looked inside and never known anything, but he did, and it just kind of like I don't know what this is. Let's just finish our job. He didn't know it was poison, I think, or knew that it was some kind of toxic virus to destroy Europa or a city on Europa and cause that girl's sister to get killed. But is what it is. I, all in all, I'm not disappointed to have played the game. I'm glad to have played the game. I am going to continue when the DLC comes out, and we're going to finish the story and see if this is the end of the Callisto Protocol franchise, or if it's just the beginning. Because we're getting to that point with all these new IPs, and they just need a fresh new blood IP of just continuing on. I don't think they knew that the original company was remaking Dead Space to come out the same exact year, which kind of probably put a damper on this game. But this did come out before that, so they got a little bit of a head start for this year. There are many people that have never played the original Dead Space trilogy, but I don't know if they're gonna make a remake 2 of Dead Space. But if they don't, that leaves an open window for the Callisto Protocol to be the new monsters in space survival horror video game where Dead Space was. So last or previous gens, Dead Space now has a little bit of a successor, but at the same time, Dead Space is still a franchise that seems to be coming out, and I might play that next, or a couple other games. I think I might play a little more family-friendly games as opposed to the horror, give that a break, but only because I don't know if I have enough reaction for it. I just kind of cringe when something is kind of gross or creeping me out in the game. I don't, or get all shocked and odd while I play a game, which is probably better if I could do something like that. I would like it, but doesn't mean that I can do that, and I don't want to phone it in. Can't remember a game that gave me that many scares, and except for when I was a kid playing Resident Evil 2, the original Resident Evil 2 for the PlayStation 1, or in my case, I got for the Nintendo 64. And that was my big introduction to horror games, because I didn't start with the first one, but I got there eventually. I've played all those, and I have a few of those on my YouTube channel as well, so I would appreciate it. If you want, you can take a look and follow those. Take a look on my YouTube channel and keep tracking here on my Twitch streams. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You are fantastic for doing so in any of those categories or all three. I do appreciate it. I would like to hear other opinions on this game, because I am the only person I know that has played this game. In my circles of friends, I haven't seen others play this game, or I haven't watched any streams. I went into this blind. I had no preconceptions of whether or not I knew that this game was going to be good or bad, or how people liked it or not. I heard a couple of reviews, but I never saw a grading, so I don't know at a scale of 1 to 10, does this get a perfect 10? Does this get that mediocre 5? Does it get a crappy 1? I know it didn't get anywhere between the 1 and 5, but I'm guessing somewhere between 5 and 10, so it's anywhere between good and fantastic game. So my opinion is, I don't want to score things on a 1 to 10, 0 to 100, whatever you want to call it. I'm just gonna say I like playing it. I like the story, as cliche as it is, because that's what I'm looking for. I like the graphics, and I had fun, and I'll try and continue as they progress. It's the first of an IP, so usually the sequel like pick up in a different direction. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you got Castlevania, then you have Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. Sometimes you have The Legend of Zelda, then you have Zelda 2 Link's Adventure. Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario Brothers 2. Now, Lost Worlds or not, one is either a carbon copy of the first one, just harder, and the other is a completely unique take on it because they wanted to take Doki Doki Panic. And then you have things that are Sonic to Sonic 2. You go from one player to possibly two players. You go from running to roll into tapping down and doing a spin dash. A lot more sequels, I think, go into that kind of range nowadays. That the second one just takes the exact copy of it and then improves it. All of a sudden, you didn't have the jump attack, you didn't have the slice and dice, you didn't have like the engineering degree. But I digress on those things, so I don't know what the future holds for this game or the franchise as a whole, but I'm going to continue as it is. I think we're running down on the end of the credits, so I'm going to hit the skip button, see what happens at the very end. I think I give enough attention to that, and I spoke enough on that game. Thank you for your listening, and again, please just put the comments in there, and I don't mind discussing. I don't mind opening up on the DLC and basically say, oh, I read all this, I understand all this, so I'm going to continue with this and speak on those thoughts of those that also enjoyed or didn't enjoy the game. Oh, maybe I don't have to press a skip. Looks like that's the end of the credits. And it does have a new game plus. So play through the story again with all the weapons and the upgrades. The Callisto credits I have, collect them at the first Reforge, so the first 3D printer for all these things. And there we have it. Okay, I said it somewhere in my ramblings of what's going on for this game, but thank you so much for joining me on this video game adventure. Again, please like, comment, subscribe, and take care of yourselves. You have a fantastic day, night, or whatever time period you have. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Captain Waffles, out.